As an instructor of anatomy and physiology too, I struggle with how to teach the liver. It is typically presented in the chapter on the digestive system, and clearly it has digestive functions. But the liver has hundreds of functions, and therefore it could be discussed in many systems, such as the immune system. So, why would the liver be considered an organ of the lymphatic system? Well, first, it is a producer of lymph, and actually it produces more lymph than any other organ. Between a quarter and half of the lymph which returns to the brachiocephalic vein through the thoracic duct originated in the liver. Most of the lymph formed in the liver originates from the area around the portal tracts. This is the region which contains both a portal vein, a hepatic artery, and bile ducts. These lymphatic vessels transport diverse components in the lymph to the one or more lymph nodes around the liver and can trigger immune responses there. Oh, but there is so much more. The liver receives about 2,000 liters of blood a day. 80% of this is not from the hepatic artery coming from the heart, but rather from the hepatic portal vein, bringing blood from the gut, which includes a rich source of foreign antigens from the microbes and microbial products we have ingested. The liver is the only solid organ which interacts with millions of different foreign antigens each day. The liver's immunological environment is unique, and it contributes to both innate and adaptive immune responses. A strong innate immune system here prevents harmful exaggerated immune responses to antigens in the diet and from microbial products in the diet. It helps to promote tolerance. The liver possesses diverse cells participating in innate responses, the nonspecific phagocytosis of foreign cells, of particles, and promoting inflammation. Diverse cells perform these innate functions, such as the sinusoidal endothelial cells. These only form around 3% of the liver's volume, but they have a surface area about half the size of an NBA basketball court. Unlike most endothelia, they lack basal lamina and possess fenestrations, so there's more communication between the blood and the spaces around. Their roles in innate immunity include removing antigens from the blood using diverse receptors that they have. I give them in here. And they serve as antigen-presenting cells, which help trigger adaptive responses. They produce cytokines, which help T lymphocytes mature, and they promote hepatic tolerance. NK cells, or natural killer cells, are fascinating. They are lymphocytes, but they function in innate immunity, unlike most lymphocytes which function in adaptive immunity. And while they represent 5 to 10% of circulating lymphocytes, they represent almost half of the liver's lymphocytes, where they identify cancer cells, virally infected cells, and stressed cells, but respond to different chemical signals and a decreased number of MHC proteins instead of the typical T cell receptors that most lymphocytes use. The liver also possesses NKT cells, natural killer T cells, intermediate between NK cells and cytotoxic T lymphocytes. They respond to lipids and glycolipids, but use different receptors than most T lymphocytes. They can recognize pathogens such as tuberculosis, and their dysregulation can contribute to autoimmunity. One of the classes of T lymphocyte found in the liver are the mucosal-associated invariant T cells, or MAIT cells. Their receptors are a little different and a little less diverse than those of typical T lymphocytes, and they can compose about 20 to 40% of the T lymphocytes in the liver. Other liver cells can present to them. There are macrophages which remain in the liver rather than traveling throughout the body, and this is the body's largest population of resident macrophages. They perform phagocytosis and pinocytosis of foreign particles from the blood, phagocytosis of bacteria and aged erythrocytes, and they have interesting origins. Some originate from the fetal yolk sac, others arise from circulating monocytes, and then some can divide on their own and thus self-renew. The liver possesses a high number of gamma delta T cells. These are T lymphocytes which primarily function in innate immunity and can perform some phagocytosis, unlike most T lymphocytes, and do not require activation through MHC proteins, once again, unlike most T lymphocytes. But they also may contribute to adaptive immunity and memory. The liver does not have as many as the gastrointestinal tract, but it does possess a high number.